Welcome back to my channel. So this is TMI part 2. I just want to say really quick to all of my viewers and subscribers, and I just want to take the time to apologize because TMI part 1 got delayed getting uploaded to my original All-Purpose Woman TV channel just because my channel wasn't working properly. So every time that I uploaded that particular video, it would go to a different YouTube page of mine. So I spent countless hours and days trying to get my channel fixed so that I could upload TMI part 1 on my channel. So this is just a continuation of part 1. I'm doing a part 2 so that my viewers and my subscribers, like I said, can get to know me better and know some, personal things about me, and so you can know who you're watching. So with that being said, we're gonna get started on part 2 of my TMI vlog. So, favorite childhood movies. So I have a few of them. One of my favorite childhood movies is Drop Dead Fred. For those of you who have not seen Drop Dead Fred, you guys definitely need to go check that movie out. That movie was awesome. I mean, it is the typical, only child syndrome movie. And basically the movie, I'm just going to give you a brief rundown of what the movie is about. It's about a grown adult whose imaginary friend travels with them through adulthood. So, they're literally talking to their imaginary friend. No one else can see this imaginary friend but her. So, of course, her family and friends are thinking that she's crazy. Her husband thinks she's crazy, and it was a great movie. I mean, Drop Dead Fred, he was jumping out of Jack in the Boxes and, flinging boogers and all of that. And back in the day, I thought that was cool, because it was just an awesome movie. It was an awesome movie. So, and another movie of mine would be Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I love that movie. I watched that movie so much. I watched that movie till the tape broke. That's how I drove my mom crazy with that movie. I absolutely love that movie. Some other favorites of mine are Problem Child 1 and 2. And Bambi. I really like Bambi. Taught me some great, lessons. If you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. Yeah, great lessons learned in Bambi. I really do enjoy Bambi. And so those are just some of my favorite childhood movies to date that I still, every time I see them on TV, I'm like on it. I'm watching it like it's the first time all over again. So yeah, that's some of my favorite childhood movies. What's the pros and cons of being an only child? Okay, so the pros and cons of being an only child. The pros are, I had great Christmases and birthdays. Like, my Christmases and my birthdays were, like, awesome. Like, I got everything. My Christmases, I had so many toys. I had more toys than I knew what to do with. Birthdays were great. Parties, money. They took me shopping. Whatever I wanted to do, that's what we did on my birthday. Like, I had, and almost everything I wanted for the most part. The cons of being an only child is, when you get in trouble, you don't have anybody to blame it on. Like, everybody know it's you. So if you do something, you can't blame it on nobody else. Everybody else is going to know it was you that, did whatever you did. And another con would be, I had to do all the chores by myself. I didn't really have anybody to split my chores with, so, I had to clean the whole house by myself. Yeah. And I got bullied a lot, too, because I did not have any siblings that lived with me. All of my siblings are from my father's side of the family. So I didn't have any siblings that lived with me that could defend me, should I get into an altercation with anybody. So that would just be some of the pros and some of the cons of being an only child. But I really did enjoy being an only child. Like, and, of course, I wish I've had siblings that lived with me. But here and there, I've had, cousins and stuff stay with me and stuff. So, I still kind of had the best of both worlds. And it was great. Did I have an imaginary friend as a child? Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, his name was Jack. Jack was freaking awesome, man. Like, that dude was the bomb. Like, if anybody has adopted Jack into their family, please take good care of him because he was awesome. Like, he did me good. Like, you know, and I don't believe in, you know, imaginary friends, you know, dying and all of that. Like, I believe they just get adopted by the next child to the next family. So, you know, whoever has Jack, you know, take good care of him, and he's gonna take good care of you. So yeah, that was my imaginary friend. I did have one. Something that I lied about. A story comes to mind. When I was in the 5th grade, I had a librarian teacher named Miss Tinkarian, and she was having something as to where if you were good in her class, you could get your face painted. Well, of course, I was not good in her class, so I could not get my face painted. So what I decided to do was, after they got done, you know, painting everybody's face and they left the library, I decided that I was going to steal the paint. So I steal the paint, and I'm going in the bathroom and I'm putting on the paint, and one of my classmates come in and they're like, ooh, I'm telling the teacher, you stole the paint. Everybody's looking for this paint. Nobody can find this paint. That's because I'm in the bathroom with paint. Yeah, so, you know, my mom, you know, basically, you know, she was like, you know, my aunt told her what was going on, and, you know, she's like ready to go in the room and go get her belt. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. I'm hearing voices, and I've been hearing them for quite some time, and I didn't want to say anything because I was ashamed, and I knew that you were going to be disappointed. And so my mom's like, what? You hearing voices? Who are you hearing these voices by? The devil. He tells me to steal stuff. He tells me to lie. He tells me to do things I know I shouldn't do, and I don't know what's wrong with me. And my mom, she went into panic mode. She was like, oh my God, like, my child is hearing voices from the devil. Like, oh my God, I gotta do something. So, look, I didn't know that my mom was going to call Shepherd Pratt to have me evaluated. Now, for those of you who do not know what Shepherd Pratt is, it is a mental institution. So my mom, she called Shepherd Pratt to have me evaluated, and my little cousin is looking at me like, you know what are you gonna do now? And I'm like, look, play along, that's what you're gonna do, okay? She's like, you're going straight to hell for this one. So I'm in Shepherd Pratt. You know, my mom was not in the room with me while I was in the room with the psychiatrist. My little cousin was, because they thought that it would be more comfortable for me to have someone in the room that I felt comfortable with, you know, so maybe I would open up more. So, you know, she asks me, you know, well, how long have you been hearing these voices? And who's been, you know, telling you to do bad stuff? So I was like, I've been hearing these voices for like a year now, and it's been the devil telling me to do this stuff. So she's like, okay. So she's like, look, I'm going to show you some photos, and I want you to tell me what you see. So she held up these black and white photos, and she's like, look, what do you see? And I'm like, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, fallen angels. I'm in here. I'm just literally just making up stuff as I go along, because I really wanted her to think that something was wrong with me, but I didn't want to go too outlandish for her to be like, you know what, Miss Johnson, we're going to go ahead and keep your child, you know, and have her sedated with medication because something is literally wrong with your kid, and keep me in Shepherd Pratt. So, you know, I didn't want to go too overboard with it, but just enough where they would actually believe that I had some type of mental problem. So, you know, my cousin is sitting on the couch and she's shaking her head. She's like, yo, you going straight to hell. And I'm like, look, don't say nothing. Just play along. So something happened. I ended up going for a couple of counseling sessions. I think I went for about 3 or 4, and then after that, that stopped. I don't know, something happened with my mom's insurance. But I so wish that, you know, my mom and my little cousin could have been here, you know, to do this vlog with me, especially with this story, because they would have been able to give you their side of the story, because it was such a hilarious story. And people do not believe when, you know, we tell this story at family gatherings. People be like, what? You did what? Yeah. This is a classic story of when lying goes wrong, you know, because now I lied, and now I had to put on a full production to cover up that lie, and it had just spiraled out of control. And so, you know, that's, you know, a reason why, you know, I don't lie now, because it's just too much work to just keep up a lie. So one thing I lied about, I have so many stories. I have so many stories, especially when I was a kid. I lied like I lied so much it was ridiculous. Like, I could just tell y'all a story really quick about how I lied about, because I got tired of never having name brand shoes. Like, I had a few here and there, but I wanted Timberlands. I wanted, I wanted, name brand shoes. And so I told my mom for one Christmas I wanted a pair of Timberlands. So I'm excited because my mom's like, okay, I'm gonna get you some boots. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get the boots for Christmas. I'm looking at the boots. They're not in a Timberland box. I'm thinking, well, I didn't think anything of it. I opened the box and they're boots from Payless. So I am highly upset. I am like, what in the world is really going on? I asked for Timberlands. I didn't ask for Payless boots. I want Timberlands. So, long story short, my mom was like, look, Timberlands cost $100 and something. At this time, mind you, I'm in the 7th grade. She's like, nobody can afford a pair of $150 shoes. I think that's what they were at the time. I wanted them. Everybody else had a pair. I'm the only one walking around in the neighborhood with some, Payless shoes on. So what did I do? Being the resourceful person that I am, I decided I was going to go to my next door neighbor at the time who had a pair of Timberlands. I asked him, could I borrow one of his Timberlands so that I could sketch off the Timberland tree on the boot and copyright it on my boots so that people would think that I had Timberlands. So I am literally with a Sharpie drawing on this Timberland tree, okay, the Timberland symbol on my Payless boots, thinking that I was really going to get away with it. So long story short, I go to school the next day. I'm on the bus. Everybody's showing off what they got for Christmas. And I'm like, yeah, I'm saying, I got some Timbs. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh, you got some Timbs? Like, I got some Timbs. So when I lifted up my jeans so that they could see the top, they was like, yo, that ain't no real Timbs. Yo, you drew that on. I was like, no, I didn't, yo. I was like, yo, these the new news. Like, these the hot stuff. See, this is like some, limited editions type stuff. They like, yo, the tree is fake. So then it was like, oh, you got some fake Timbs and all this other stuff like that. And I'm just like, yo, I really thought I was gonna get away with that. I really did, Long story short, I never got a pair of Timbs. I still to this day don't own a pair of Timberlands, never have. So long story short, I never got my Timberlands. I probably will go out and buy some eventually, but I don't really need them right now. But, long story short, I never got my Timberlands. And yeah, I ended up, lying about having fake Timbs. So, most embarrassing moment. The one that really stands out for me is, I told you guys I have a phobia of needles. So, when I was 16, I was referred to a nursing home for a job to be a resident assistant. And I went to the interview with a friend of mine at the time. And, the interview went well. And they was like, you got the job. The only last step that you have to take is, you have to get a TV shot. So I'm like, what? So they're like, yeah. Other than that, you get that. The job is yours. You got it. So I'm like, okay. So I go in the room where they're giving the TV shots at. And I'm sitting there like a soldier, like trying to play it like I'm tough and stuff. Like, you know what? I'm not going to pass out today. I'm not going to pass out. I'm not going to pass out today. I go there, get my shot, and surprisingly, I didn't pass out. So I leave. They're like, you good? I said, I'm good. I'm proud of myself. I walk out the room. I go in the hallway. I'm on my way out the door. Next thing you know, I didn't even make it out the building, and I passed out. I don't even remember passing out, but when I woke up, the lady that